Hello everyone, I know we haven't recorded a YouTube video since December of last year, and that's going to change right now. Today it is currently our Systemversary, which is the 1 year anniversary of when we went into Systemversary, which basically means when we were discovered we were plural. Just a heads up, this is going to be a mostly improvised video. We don't have a script. I'm trying to get this out today and editing can take forever. So if I go into like little tangents or start stuttering in places, that's why. So first question we'd like to ask ourselves is what is something we wish we knew before we discovered we were a system? A good piece of advice would have been not to try and create mental constructs in the brain very early into discovery. When you're in that stage, like your brain is like gonna do some funny things. Like you could try to create an NPC, but then they'd become a full-fledged headmate. That's how muddy the brain sort of gets when you're in that stage. So it would be best to like wait until you've figured the basics out of how your system works and everything before you try and do the hard stuff. Another thing is if you want to try to be openly plural outside of the internet, it is very isolating, like ridiculously isolating. In the real world outside of the internet, there are almost no spaces for plurals to gather and stuff like there are spaces for other minority groups. And the world is just hostile in general. Like, it's not really. Accessible probably isn't the right word for it, but it's not accommodating to people with more than one identity per body. On a lighter note, next question. What is a relationship that has really changed in the last year? I'm mainly going to be speaking on the internal side of things, like headmates and stuff. I think the main change is that, like, the polykill. Like, I think half of us are, like, in a polykill. Some examples I can think of off the top of my head about headmates falling in love with each other are our two resident angels, Dot and Annie. We haven't introduced them yet. So, a little context. Annie used to be a sort of emotional holder, and one time Annie was kind of going through it, you know, that it was feeling sad and angry and feeling bad in general. And then Dot comes over to comfort it. Looking at it, I think what made them sort of click was that they discovered they were the same species of angel, you know, from the, same mythos. I don't know. So you have that bond of being the same species and also the thing of going over to comfort somebody after they're having a bad time, and that's how that worked. Actually, it's a similar situation with that's kind of how Kieran and Graves got together, to be honest. Um, Graves is a fictive of ours. He's trying to source separate. Yeah, I think it's the only fictive of ours that's really working to source separate because he did not have a good time in source. Anyway, um, so Graves is not coping because he's going through like so much exotrauma, like you wouldn't believe, and so he goes over to Kieran to share a room. I think it's the suspension bridge effect. If you're in a stressful situation, you're likely to confuse your feelings of anxiety for love. And I guess their whole relationship kind of started because of the suspension bridge effect, but they're genuinely in they genuinely care for each other. They still do. In terms of familial relationships, I think the most unexpected dynamic was Jerry and Graves. What happened was, like, it's still related to his exotrauma, issues with mother, so on. And he goes over to Jerry one day and says, "Can you be my mum?" And she gets it because she understands because we all like share the same memories and stuff, and so she's got that understanding and she agrees to it. The sweet thing is, when Jerry's birthday came up and Graves gave her a little present and like a handwritten note, thanking her so much for being a good chosen mum. That's sweet. Now, on to how much have things changed in terms of system function. Honestly, not much. We still share the same memories and everything. We all can see what the body sees. We're still kind of median and multiple at the same time. It's called medible. I think that's about it in terms of system function, but it's pretty much the same. Finally, where would we be in 1 year from now? I think we'd still be plural. There'd probably be a bit more of us. Currently, our head count is like 31, 32, and I bet it's gonna skyrocket because of something. It's always the hyperfixation that causes us to split. It's ridiculous. Split tolerance. I bet there'll be 60 of us. I'd also like to recap how many of us were at the start versus now. There were roughly 4 or 5 of us at the start. Would you believe it? And then when we were doing YouTube, we were about 11 headmates. Now it's 31. It's all my fault. And now for the fun part of the video, which is probably the most confusing for the viewers because we've only introduced 3 of our headmates and we've got a hell of a lot more than 3. So the game is called Yearbook Superlatives, where we assign each other yearbook superlatives. You know, the things that go most likely to blah 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 blah. Now each of us already has a yearbook superlative. I've got a different thing in my notes app, which is for everyone in our system gets one descriptor. I'm doing something different here. I'm gonna go onto WikiHow, onto the yearbook superlatives questions thingy, and we're gonna assign each other stuff based on the questions. Let's start with the classics. Best friend, Kieran. He's been such a good friend to everyone here, especially Graves, because if you heard my little tangent about how they got together. Class clown, Tim, because he's practically a class clown already in Source. Most athletic, technically Roman, because in Source he goes to the gym sometimes. Best dressed, depends on how you define fashion, because like Dot is like drag, and then Roman's just kind of draggy sometimes, but still high fashion. Teacher's pet would be Oral or Buster. Those two are just wholesome and whimsical, full of hope for the world. Wholesome. Cutest couple. Actually, cutest relationship actually, because the polycule. I think Chelsea and her partners, Kieran and Graves, are some of the cutest. She's just sweet. Most changed? Actually, Roman has gone through quite a few changes since he got introjected. Like, he's using pronouns now, he cross-dresses sometimes, using a lot of, like, labels, bisexual, polyamorous, blah blah blah. And he's also the one that scored the most in the polycule. He's got like 7 partners. Yeah, he has changed quite a lot, is what I'm saying. Best all around. Honestly, I don't know. We've all got good qualities about ourselves. I don't want to say, I don't want to put like the best one. Life of the party, maybe Roman. Most unforgettable, I'm gonna have to go with Roman again. He's an absolute icon.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Most likely to save the planet, Lucy. She's literally a magical girl. That's her job. Most likely to become a rock star, Michael, I think. Most likely win an Academy Award. Maybe Jerry. Most likely to be on the cover of a magazine, Roman. Alright, and that's about it for Systemversary. I hope you liked it. Okay, see you whenever.